Hi there, I'm Nox, and today we're gonna try out the new Battleroyale Bloodhunt. Bloodhunt is a Battleroyale made from the series Vampire the Masquerade. Basically, it's a Battleroyale where you play as a vampire that eats humans and other vampires to grow his stomach to eat even more humans. And in order to wreak havoc, we also have pretty interesting arsenal of weapons. LMGs, sniper rifles, but we also have melee weapons such as katanas or spiked bats. There's definitely a lot of different weaponry to choose from. When we start a game, we are greeted to choose an archetype. Archetype is basically a character with different powers. The archetypes do have an affiliation with different clans, and those clans do have the same first ability, but are different when it comes to passive and the second ability. And also the looks are unique to a clan, and the same comes for animations for characters. They do have different animations between the clans and between the genders, of course, also. And some of the cosmetics are only available for a specific clan to use. First thing after choosing a class and starting a game I actually noticed is the FPS issue. For some reason, when you start a game, the FPS will range from 8 to 20 max, but after a while they will stabilize and you will get maximum like 140 FPS depending on your limit. I did some digging about this, and apparently it's just CPU bound, so if you have a really good CPU, you probably won't have that problem. But if you have a worse CPU, you might have problems with loading textures in this game, which you will see later on, or generally this FPS problem at the start of the game. So after resolving the issue, we are greeted with a prop hunt to just run around the hub and collect some books and roses, because, you know, why not? After that we get a player banner and you can get more missions and just explore more of the lore if you're interested in that.
This is a fight for survival. If you want to survive the night, you must arm yourself. Stay ahead of the deadly red gas closing in around you. Engage the entity at your own risk. Feed on resonant blood to grow your power. But avoid breaking the masquerade, lest a blood hunt be called on you. You will need every advantage, all your skill and cunning, and a bit of luck to earn victory.
So initially I installed the game on a hard drive, and that was my mistake, because when I started the game it actually didn't allow me to join the lobby. I was stuck in the loading screen, I could hear the sounds, I could hear me moving around, but I never loaded in. What I had to do is basically move the game to SSD for it to even work properly. So if you are having only a hard drive, you probably won't be able to run this game. Later on I did find out that there is a tutorial for this game, but you need to go to choose game mode, which isn't initially chosen. For new players it's basically like if you're trying to play a different game mode you'll find it, but if you're just playing solos you might miss it like I did, which is pretty bad in my opinion. When I was able to finally play the game, I was greeted with a map to choose where I respawn at. If you played Ring of Elysium before, it's pretty similar concept. You pick a spot and you see all the players around you on the other respawn points, and you get to choose a free spot and you will respawn there. After choosing a spot, we get to choose our archetype for the game. Quick note, if you're playing duos or squads, you cannot choose the same archetype as your teammate. So when the game actually starts, it's the typical Battle Royale stuff, which is time to loot up. The way you loot up in this game and look for loot is you look for the blue areas that will pop up when you click X, or generally just glow blue, or you look for the golden crates. By using X you can also spot humans that will allow you to, well, consume them and give you information on what power they will actually give you. Later on I got into my first scrap with players, and the weird thing about this game I found out is that if you kill someone that's already knocked down by another player, you will not get the kill credit or assist, nothing. You basically get nothing from that. Unless you devour them, then you get the extra capacity for resonance and a little more XP for devouring a player, but you will not get the kill credit at all. Nothing, you will get basically nothing from that. So the only thing you can do is wait for someone to get up and then knock them down again, which I found really stupid in this game, because you should be able to just finish a person that's not gonna get a kill credit. But other than that, it was a pretty interesting scrap fight. I got some kills, and I also fought some NPCs called the Entity, which are basically the bots that you can devour also, which take a bit more time to eat, but they will also increase your capacity for resonance, which is pretty good. And when I did die, I know there's a kind of weird thing about this game also. So when you die in solos, there is a weird thing happening. You have extra lives, which is fine. You just respawn and you get another chance, which is a really good solution. But you get a spiked bat, you get an AK, which is blue, and you get to keep all your resonance points. And on top of that, you respawn pretty close to the place where you just died. What happens in solos because of that is that you kill a player, you're fighting another player in the same place because there a lot of times you will get third partied, and the same player you killed will be back with a fucking AK to shoot you in the back, which is incredibly stupid and it's just broken. Like, if they come back, give them only a pistol and that's it, because giving them an AK is why? Who the fuck thought of that? It's stupid. And to babysit players even more, when you die again, you can eat a human with an extra life. And that basically means, again, when you die, you will respawn in proximity with an AK and you're basically ready to go once again. It causes solos to be a really hectic mess, because there's just... You will fight 3 players at the same time, you will kill 2 of them, the other one is shooting you in the back right now, and by the time you finish fighting the last guy, the first 2 you were fighting will already be fucking back with AKs and shooting you in the back. So it's really not a good solution to a game, and I think it should be reworked, because that's just crazy bad. So to talk a bit more about the resonance points, basically how it works, you get 3 slots initially when you respawn to fill. Basically, if you eat a human, you can fill the 3 slots. You can see the slots are free in your bottom left corner. If it's an open circle, you basically can eat someone and fill that slot. If it's a dot, on the other hand, you need to eat a player or an entity in order to raise your capacity. You do have 4 different perks to level up. 2 of them are pretty similar, they're reducing your abilities cooldown, and the other 2 give you higher melee damage and passive health regeneration over time. With all that said, I did find the game pretty fun to play. Some of the weapons do feel really nice, although they are not balanced. Some of the weapons feel completely useless and some of them feel completely overpowered. On top of that, we do have different rarities of weapons, and rarities basically allow us to reload faster and have a higher mag capacity. That's the only difference between weapons. Even though some of the weapons won't even get the benefit of the higher magazine capacity, for example a 9-barrel or a double-barrel shotgun, they have the same amount of bullets all the time. Don't think that changes the amount of time it takes to reload. The best weapons in the game as of now, I'd probably say, are the toggler and the marksman rifle, and the worst one are double barrel and the SMG. SMG does not have enough bullets to kill a person sometimes and is incredibly inaccurate, and the double barrel shotgun has a really close effective range, and at the same time it's really hard to hit someone with this game's movement, which is really dynamic. The damage of the double barrel shotgun isn't high either. You need to hit both shots to down someone, and those shots need to be up close in an effective range, because otherwise you won't be able to down someone and then get ready for reloading for ages, especially with a lower grade shotgun. Next thing to talk about is the bags. Fortunately, even if my short time of playing this game, I did tie already to a couple of them. One of them, as you can see here, is a dissing bag, or a lag, I'm not even sure how to call it, because you can actually interact with other players, but you cannot interact with entity or the zone. This time it happened, I died to a bot that was basically shooting me for walls, and then I teleported back to the place I was actually at. The other time it happened, unfortunately off record, the zone didn't move for me. I was fighting players, I was like, why am I taking damage randomly? And then I died, and I seen that for everyone else the zone already moved, but not for me, which was definitely a weird experience. The other thing is not even much of a bug, it's more of an optimization issue. If you have a bit worse of a CPU in this game, your textures might not load. What happens then is that you are floating. You are not able to properly ADS or climb the walls or move, because you're basically just floating and you have to wait for the buildings to load properly. Currently I have an i5-7600K and it still happened to me. I did my little research and it's definitely CPU bound, and this game just has a problem with loading textures and generally the loading stuff when you have a lower end CPU. Despite all the bugs and issues with loading, I'm having a lot of fun with this game, and even I was able to get a win in solos, which felt pretty nice. I am having a lot of fun with this game, so I'll definitely make more videos on it and hopefully fix the lag issue, because you probably noticed that it was lagging from time to time on a video. Unfortunately, it's the problem of the game being really CPU bound and me not having the best CPU. With all that said, I do like the game uniqueness, and I said about the game itself, it definitely has a nice feel to it and the movement feels really good, so I will keep playing it, and hopefully the issues that I'm facing right now will be resolved fairly quickly. So thanks for watching, and I hope to see you next time.